To make the Four Nightmares rope trick a little easier to understand, I provided a video tutorial so you can see the hands-on handling for this trick. The original instructions that came with this were extremely difficult to follow, and it made it very hard to learn. So I'm hoping this will make it a lot easier if you have this routine. Okay. What you will receive is you'll receive a short rope, and there will be a magnet in one side. Okay, so you want to begin with the short rope in your hand with the magnet facing down. The next rope is the long rope, and it has two ropes connected to it with magnets. You'll see that it's connected off center toward the bottom. So what you want to do is start with the long rope and the magnet down here where it's off center downward from the center of the rope, excuse me. So now you're in this position. What I want to do is I want to get the magnet right in the middle here. I'm going to give you a close-up view. So in a moment I can separate the magnets with my fingers by simply curling the two bottom fingers over the bottom part of the rope, pinching it between the thumb and forefinger, and pulling them apart. All right? So what's going to happen, I'm going to display the short rope first, magnet facing down. The long rope next. I would just by feel, you can feel where the magnet is, and I will separate them as I'm speaking to the audience. They are now separated in my hand. What I want to do is I'm going to bring this rope, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes view. The audience is that way. I will bring this rope over here. I'm actually going to connect this bottom rope now to the short piece of rope. Okay? So I've disconnected them. I'm going to bring it down. This hand covers the fact that the ropes are separated as I bring it down and let it connect down here. I've got two ropes now of even sizes. Okay. Now when you show it to the audience, it will still appear that this is the short rope and this is the long rope. That is the illusion of it. Now I want to make my hand vertical, hold this piece of rope up in the air, grab another piece, match it, come down. I'm going to grab the bottom piece of rope, match it to the little piece of rope hanging down, and slowly pull them so they can see they're the same exact size. Now watch close, because my left hand is going to drop this end and my right hand will hold this one. So now if you're in the right position, if you've done it correctly, there should be a magnet right here at the top of this rope, and the short rope should be connected right here with two magnets. So this is the short rope here, the medium here, and then the long piece in my right hand. Okay? So now we're going to do phase 2, where we're going to make the knot melt off the rope. So I'm going to grab my hand, just as I did in the first one, only with the left hand. I can feel where the magnet is. As I run my hand down the rope, I can feel the magnet. It's above center now. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to disconnect the magnets. Okay? I'm going to disconnect the rope right here using the two little fingers, the thumb and forefinger, and separate them. And I'm going to make this piece of rope, the magnet here, adhere to the bottom piece of rope. So that will be covered with patter. And by simply saying, if I take these two pieces of rope and put them together, okay, I've just adhered the magnets. This is the short piece of rope, okay? And if you just curl the short piece of rope around like you can hold it. It looks like two separate pieces of rope being tied together. Right? It's a great illusion. Tie them just enough where you won't get any slack. And I also pinch the magnet up here to make sure that it's all uniform and not off center, okay? Now when you hold it up in the air, simply, all you will need to do is remove the knot off the rope slowly. You don't want to separate the ropes up there, and place it into your pocket or your performing table. If you've done it correctly up to this point, you now have a rope with a magnet on the top, okay? We have two pieces of rope. They're separated. They are connected by magnets here, okay? I will now grab where the magnet is, let go of this side, and take my left hand and put it over the magnets. And I'm going to disconnect them again the same way. I'm going to disconnect them like this, okay? So now, I've just disconnected them. I'm going to take this piece of rope hanging here. It's got a magnet in it. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to connect it to that piece of rope here. Basically, I'm going to be forming a circle of rope, okay? So once more, here we go. It looks like, it appears that you have one long piece of rope. I feel where the magnet is. I come over here, and I separate them. I bring this piece of rope, and while I'm patterning slowly, I want to slowly put it in, because I don't want the audience to hear this. Hear that? If you go very slowly, you will soften the magnet, and you can do it almost silently. So basically, I'm in this position, and what you do now is you just curl the long piece of rope into the circle. Hold it up. Many times it will stay itself, and then you can slowly remove it. If you've done it correctly, this piece of rope has a magnet at the top. These are connected right here. I like to turn the circle in my hand so that you can see it's a solid piece of rope until I feel the magnet back in between my fingers. I'm basically going to reverse what I just did. The magnet is here. I'm going to separate them again, all right? The two little fingers, the thumb and forefinger, just slowly separate it as this magnet is going to touch the bottom piece, okay, the bottom piece. So as I'm speaking and I patter about, but sometimes magic gets so impossible, I don't know how it happens. So I separate, I'm going to connect this magnet to this magnet. So basically I'm back to one big piece of rope, but I'm holding it in a loop. And if you just double it up like this, all right, put it through once, but now this is important. You've only put it through once. You have to take the other end and let it hang there, like that. Now if you face the audience, that will stay there, and it will appear that the loop just melts right back onto the piece of rope. All right, so just go over these video instructions a bunch of times till you get it done. It's like anything else. It's like riding a bike. Once you understand it and you get that eye-hand coordination, it's like anything else. This takes practice, and you have to practice over and over and over until you can associate your hand movements, finger movements, every time without thinking. It should just be automatic, and it'll look like you will present a beautiful piece of magic. I hope that helped you learn the 4 Nightmares rope trick.